is a presentation of Main Street Media, your source for news, sports, and information on Main Street in Middle Tennessee.
Sounds 30 years of the best sports talk in Middle Tennessee, featuring Tennessee Radio Hall of Famer George Plaster, Tennessee Sports Hall of Fame coach Watson Brown, and Young Guns Billy Derrick and Michael Cindric. And now, here's your host, George Plaster.
Hello again, everybody. Welcome in. It's a beautiful Thursday in Nashville, Tennessee, and I have on a dress shirt. Take a good look. Not likely to happen again anytime in the near future. The reason is simple. I am going to my buddy Mark McGee's induction ceremony tonight. He'll be put into the Tennessee Sports Writers Hall of Fame, and we congratulate him. That's the ceremony will be on the campus of Cumberland University. And so I'll just tell you up front, we will probably shorten the show today by about 15 minutes so I can get over there. Looking forward to it. Looking forward to getting rid of this shirt as well. Let's say hello. Yeah, I'm just not used to this. Let's go to the plateau and say hello to Coach Watson Brown. Watson, are you there?
I'm here, George. You look really nice today.
Thank you. And so do you.
Yeah, thank you.
So what have you been doing today?
Well, I've cut a little grass, and you know there's a lot of grass to cut up here. You've been up here.
There's a bunch.
Cut a little grass. I played 9 holes of golf and played pretty well, and came home and couldn't wait to get ready for this show.
You know, I played 9 holes on Monday.
Did you?
Yeah.
Did you play good? Wasn't that Chevyville?
Yes.
Yes,
So
that's where you went.
The folks there were very nice. I'm going to throw a word out to describe my game on Monday. The word is rancid.
Rancid.
Yeah. Billy, I want you to look that up later. Rancid.
I will look it up, but I got a feeling I know what it means.
It stinks.
It's stinks to the heavens.
Yes. It's like having a skunk loose in your golf bag.
Boy, that would be that's a nice thought there now.
Yeah.
Billy, skunk loose in your golf bag. I mean, where could you come up with that?
I don't know. I just did on the fly.
Jeez.
Billy Derrick, Father Ryan grad, Ave Maria University. Or is it Marie?
It's Ave Maria, George. You got it.
Maria?
Ave Maria.
Okay.
Together.
I wanted to make sure. Which is where exactly?
It's about 45 minutes outside Fort Myers, Southwest Florida.
Gotcha. Did you look up rancid?
I did not. I think I know what it means, though.
Look it up.
I will later.
Look it up. We'll see if that word. Look, I don't know that's one of those big old word wealth words. You know, Al Michaels used to use a bunch of those.
Word wealth.
Kind of words. Yeah. What was the thing alacrity.
Got some big words today on the show.
Rancid. Look it up. Watson, you ready for a little update?
Let's go.
Did you, I don't know how early they got going on this. Did you watch the British Open?
Watch some when I got back. Yeah, just a little. Tiger was already, I think he was +4 when I started watching.
Okay,
let's take a look at that leaderboard.
George, leaderboard, as you can see at the bottom of the screen, an American, C. Young. Have we found his first name?
Let my Cameron go.
I think Watson's right. It is
Cameron.
Cameron Young. Okay.
Why do you think I did that? That's in Ferris Bueller. Cameron
Young, -8, top of the leaderboard. You also got Rory McIlroy at -6. I think do we have another Cameron? Is it Cameron Smith at -5? I think
Yes, there is a Cameron Smith.
And then we've got Brown at -4, Kitayama at -5, and Watson Tiger is now +6, 78 so far. So Tiger struggling.
78.
Yeah, I said
he's
78.
getting up in my territory.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
No.
He probably thought it was rancid.
No, he's not in your territory, brother.
No. So
you ain't around 78. Believe me.
No, I'm not. Not unless we cut off some holes in the round a little early.
That might be hole 14.
Right.
That might be about right.
So let me ask you this. Do you think there is a side of him right now saying, I'm about done?
Absolutely there is. He's fighting it. He's fighting it. When I watched him today, guys, did you see any of it? I mean, he can't walk. He cannot walk. And I didn't realize they said they tied his calf to the bone.
Oh.
They had to tie his calf to the bone. So he's got to be as tight as you can be. I mean, I just wonder that he may say this will be my last time here, because the next time they go to that course, which is his favorite course, is 5 years from now. So he may say, even if he doesn't make the cut, and he's got a long way to go to make the cut now, he may say tomorrow when he finishes, this will be my last time officially play here now. I don't know if he'll say he's retiring, but I just don't see how this leg, guys, can get past a certain point. I just don't see it.
Don't you think we're learning that these injuries were way more serious than even we knew?
Yeah, this last one now is way more serious. I mean, George, they say he came close to losing his leg.
Yeah.
And so, the last one has been bad. Most of the other injuries have been golf injuries to me, and he's had knees. He's had all kind of back surgeries. His swing, I said it many years ago, the way he swings, he throws everything at that ball. I wondered how long his back could hang in there, because you're talking about some flexibility and some extension in that golf swing. And it was putting a lot of pressure on his back. I don't think there's anybody that's ever hit the ball like he does. It's hard to compare him and Jack, because complete different eras, complete different clubs, complete different courses they played. The golf clubs, the ball is different. I don't know how it's possible. They're the two best players of all time. How you say one's better than the other one, I don't know if that's possible.
Here's a heartwarming golf story for you. Apparently, the British Open, and I guess a lot of the majors do this, where they have a dinner earlier in the week for the past champions. They asked Phil to take a hike.
Ooh.
Did you hear that?
Yeah. A bunch of them they asked to take a hike. Of course, they didn't let Greg Norman in.
No, Norman is as close to persona non grata to Mickelson as you can get.
Oh, I saw the last quote from Phil today. Finally, another one asked him something about LIV, and he said, dude, I'm happy. I'm happy to be where I am. Let it go. There's nothing else to ask me. I'm happy. I'm glad I did what I did. I mean, I thought that was an interesting quote.
Not invited. Played in the tournament, but not invited to the dinner.
Yeah.
So I guess he went out and got his own McDonald's.
Probably did a little bit better than that, George.
Well, I don't know. With the gambling debts, things could be a little tough.
I would imagine, though, he was paid quite a bit to join this little league here. I'd say he's at the top of the list of the ones that made the money.
Speaking of money, DeAndre Ayton, who is a terrific player, big center from the Phoenix Suns, has signed a max offer sheet with Indiana. So help me with this, Billy. Now Phoenix has the right to turn around and match it?
Yes. Yeah, they have 2 days to match the largest offer sheet in NBA history and keep Ayton, or let him go to the Pacers for nothing in return.
I just butted in on your update, didn't I?
Yeah, you said the headline.
I know.
I can't believe it.
Watson, Phoenix needs to keep DeAndre Ayton.
You think?
Yeah.
You think? Oh, my gracious.
Are they using like monopoly money in the NBA? I mean, I see some scrubs getting 4 years, $58 million, and I'm like, are you kidding?
I don't
That's
know. I mean,
insane.
it kind of tells you they don't have enough players, doesn't it? They don't have enough really good players. They're starting to throw money at average Joes, NBA Joes, not Joes to
Right.
be at you, but average Joes to the NBA. That's what I see. They don't have enough players.
Watson's right. I mean, the amount of teams that have players that, 5-6 years ago you wouldn't have thought that would be playing in the NBA or playing in the NBA and getting minutes. I think he's exactly right.
What's next?
What's caused this, guys? Is the talent level falling off from high school up? What's caused this?
No, I think, first of all, I think they're flush with cash right now. I think the TV deals have put a lot of money in the NBA team's war chests. I would say also that the free agency stuff has gone haywire. I mean, this max contract stuff, for the veterans, it's max at $186 million or whatever. I mean, you just see numbers that are out the, well, you know what?
Gazoo.
Oh, man.
Gazoo.
Out the gazoo.
Look that one up next to rancid.
Look it up. Is that in the dictionary, you think?
I don't know.
George, we've got some more money news. Johnny Gaudreau, Johnny Hockey, has signed with Columbus. The NHL's top free agent has finally made his decision. He signed a 7-year, $68.25 million contract with the Blue Jackets, and the average annual value is $9.7 million.
So, good for Columbus. What are we doing?
We've
What
done
are the
all right
Braves
so
doing?
far now. Just take a deep breath, George.
Yeah, but
I know you're a deep season ticket holder, but take a deep breath.
Yeah, but here's the
Back
thing.
off a little there, Jack.
Wow. How long you been waiting to say that?
For a while.
4 days?
Yeah, no
Back
longer
off,
than that.
Jack.
About 3 months. About 3 months of it.
Okay, here's my point. In hockey, free agency goes like that. If you don't get it done in the first few days, does it get done?
Are we hearing anything on our end? Are you hearing any rumors that where we're headed? Or
quiet, please.
will the hockey money ever reach baseball, football, and basketball? Will they ever get a contract to the point? You don't think so?
No, because they're just not able to generate the TV ratings. Now, it's better than it used to be, where it used to be a lot of test pattern kind of stuff. 0.2, 0.1.
Yeah.
They're doing better than they used to.
Watson, is your phone ringing right now? Okay, we heard a buzz. I don't know what that was.
No.
I think we're good now.
It's not my phone.
George is very curious.
It's George's.
No, I'm just listening. It's not that.
Oh, it's not that.
Okay. In
I've checked
TV,
my phone, Billy.
here's the thing I've learned. In TV, you do a lot of hiding. Okay? For instance, big old legal pad.
The legal
It looks
pad.
empty.
I don't tell you.
Looks like
that
you
it-
did a lot of work there. Looks empty.
Yeah. Show prep. What else have we got?
George, the Cincinnati Bengals are in the news for a pretty interesting reason. They're set to unveil a new white helmet. They've worn the same striped helmet in every game they've played in the past 40 years, but that's going to be changing for one game this year. And instead of wearing their standard orange helmet with black stripes for all 17 games this year, they're going to be rocking a white tiger helmet for at least one game this year. And
Are we showing it?
Yeah. Have you seen it yet?
Oh, yeah, Memphis.
Yeah, it does look like Memphis.
Looks like Memphis.
Let me ask you this, though. The Bengals have a cool-looking uniform. Why screw it up?
Isn't this the year, guys, where they could change things? I know it's it's only some certain number of years. You have to wait another 5 or something before you can change. So if you're seeing a lot of these teams are putting up new helmets and as alternate helmets.
They're trying to sell merchandise.
Yeah, that's what they're doing.
Yeah.
But I've seen quite a few new alternate helmets. The Titans
don't you think the Bengals stuff looks good?
Yeah. How long have they been in the stripes? I know it wasn't stripes. I don't think when I was at Cincinnati, I think it was a plain helmet and just had Bengals written on the side.
Right.
That was when I was at UC as a head coach. I think I'm right about that. So, Lord, that was in what year was that?
Since the early 80s, they've been in the stripes, I think, right?
Yeah, that'd be right, because I was at Cincinnati in 83. So it's been that long.
Sure.
It's a long time ago.
Yep.
Why do this?
Selling merchandise. That's all I can figure.
There's gonna be a lot of these mini helmets coming out.
Maybe.
Did you see the Saints did you see the Saints with the black helmet? Did you all like that?
No.
Yeah, I didn't either.
If you've got a good thing going, why didn't somebody in the room say, stop?
Yeah.
We got a good thing going.
Yeah. The Texans had a red one. I guess you saw that one.
Yeah.
And I didn't like that at all.
Isn't a lot of it, though, now, George, being cool a little bit in today's day and age?
Yeah.
I mean, I know it's just for one game, but
I'm not cool.
Yeah, a lot of schools, not the traditional ones, a lot of schools are wearing a couple of 3 different helmets in a season in college.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of schools doing that. Oregon wears a different one.
Different combo
every week. So that's kind of the going thing. Now, the tradition guys, Texas, Alabama, Southern Cal, they're not touching anything. But a lot of schools are doing that.
I used to have a saying that got me in a lot of trouble. You show me a team that changes uniforms a lot, I'll show you a loser. So Billy's giving me over here this, I've got something to say. What do you got?
George, I forgot the ad read again.
Oh,
I don't know what's going on.
Gosh.
But this 4 o'clock hour is brought to you by the Justin Tucker team with Platinum Realty Partners. They're proven to be trusted with your most personal asset. The Justin Tucker team, call 615-906-8458.
Let me tell you a little bit about what we have coming on the show. After the break, we're going to the Bay Area. Steve Kroner is going to talk to us about the Oakland A's stadium situation, and we'll somehow morph it into what does that mean for Nashville, Tennessee. Then we'll have the stat of the day. At 5 o'clock on the button, Watson will unveil 1 through 7, how he sees the AFC and where the Titans fit into all of that. We'll get a few of your text questions. Plaster bet of the day. We're on a roll. We've won 2 in a row. How pitiful when being on a roll is 2 victories in a row. Stay tuned. This is the George Plaster Show on Main Street Media Television.
Buying or selling a home can be a very personal experience. Why not go with the team that receives nearly all of their business from referrals? Clearly a trusted name in real estate. The Justin Tucker team with Platinum Realty Partners has sold more than 500 homes in the last 7 years. Voted best in Sumner County multiple times. Proven to be trusted with your most personal assets. Call the Justin Tucker team with Platinum Realty Partners at 615-906-8458. The Justin Tucker team with Platinum Realty Partners, Middle Tennessee's most trusted team in
I highly recommend Sumner Funeral and Cremation because of their caring nature and attentiveness to detail.
Pre-planning your funeral now will bring you peace of mind and less stress to your loved ones. When the chaos of losing you happens, your family can honor and celebrate your life, knowing things are happening just as you wanted them to. Pre-planning determines the details of your funeral, cemetery services, and can be less expensive. We are honored to serve you and are always here for you in your time of need.
Sumner Funeral and Cremation. Traditional, affordable, dignified. SumnerFuneral.com.
Jody Jones Dentistry can handle all your dental needs, from the basics to cosmetic procedures. All of this in the nicest dental facility I have ever seen. Jody has done it right. They're located conveniently at 55 Music Square East, and for an appointment, it's simple. Dial 615-259-5100 and tell them Plaz sent you. you're thinking about golf, consider Riverside Golf Links. Under new ownership, the course has improved dramatically. It's now 27 holes, complemented by a 9-hole executive course. Book a tee time now at 615-847-5074 and get ready to enjoy the beauty of golf in the Old Hickory area at Riverside Golf Links.
This is attorney Bart Durham, and this is me. I'm Aaliyah. Keeping in good physical condition is really important to me. But when I had a wreck with a tractor-trailer truck that hurt my legs so bad I couldn't work for almost a year, I knew I needed a lawyer that understood tractor-trailer cases. So I called Bart. Bart gets millions of dollars for his clients every year.
At Bart Durham Injury Law, we've handled hundreds of tractor-trailer cases.
My dad and I want to help. Give us a call at 615-242-9000.
Welcome back into the George Plaster Show. We've got Steve Kroner from the San Francisco Chronicle coming up here in just a few minutes. But before we get to that, let's get to the Sumner Funeral and Cremation. Everyone over there doing a tremendous job sharing their family with yours in time of need. Now with 2 convenient locations in Gallatin and Hendersonville, and online at sumnerfuneral.com. Sumner Funeral and Cremation, traditional, affordable, and dignified.
Okay, Oakland has been one of the 2 big trouble spots for Major League Baseball. That and Tampa Bay have yet to be decided. Earlier today, I sat down with Steve Kroner, who writes for the San Francisco Chronicle. He knows that whole issue backwards and forwards, and somehow we were able to get Nashville, Tennessee right in the middle of it.
As long as I have been a sports talk show host, and that is a long time, the Oakland Coliseum has been an issue that Major League Baseball has known they've got to address. As of right now, what is the Coliseum issue?
Well, there are plenty of issues with the Coliseum, from sewage to it does have BART access, but there are plenty of issues with the building itself. It's more than 50 years old. It's past its prime. If you're asking about what's the next step,
yes,
are the A's going to be able to get a ballpark? They're hoping to get a ballpark at what's known here as Howard Terminal, right by Jack London Square, right along San Francisco Bay. There are a lot of hoops for which they've got to jump through, and they've gotten through a couple already. They have made some progress, but is it going to happen? I think it's 50-50 right now whether that ballpark eventually gets built at Howard Terminal.
Steve, is there a vote, a referendum, something like that ultimately will decide it?
Well, they're now kind of going through governmental processes. There was an issue last week where I believe an Oakland City councilman wanted to put a non-binding vote in November to the citizens of Oakland, and that was voted down. And the A's were happy that was voted down, because even though it was non-binding, they were afraid that there would not be the 50.1% of Oakland citizens who would go for it. And their argument, it certainly has some legitimacy, is that that the public still doesn't know all the benefits beyond the ballpark. What the Howard Terminal project is not solely a ballpark. It's something similar to, say, what the Braves did in their ballpark in suburban Atlanta. It's a ballpark plus, retail and housing and all kinds of things. So the A's and a lot of the leaders in Oakland believe that there are more benefits beyond the ballpark, but I think they were probably justifiably afraid that if it went to a public vote, even just solely as a referendum, nothing binding, that it would not look good for the project. So the A's got a break last week when that was tabled, and there will not be, at least in the short term, a public vote on it.
As you can imagine, people in Nashville are interested in the Oakland situation. They're interested in the Tampa Bay situation. So I'm going to throw a couple of dumb questions out there.
I can give you good dumb answers. I'm very good at that.
Beautiful. Here we go. So when Nashville was the A's AAA affiliate, and you had Matt Chapman and Chad Pinder and Chris Bassett and Matt Olson and a slew of really good prospects, was there ever a moment where Oakland said, wait a minute, this is a better city, this is a better situation, let's look at Nashville? Did that ever happen?
As far as I can tell, certainly not publicly. I think that, I mean, there has been talk on and off for years. The two cities around here, fairly close to the Bay Area. I mean, one, the A's are now acknowledging their parallel paths with Las Vegas. They've acknowledged they've made inquiries about trying to build a ballpark in Las Vegas as they're still trying to get the Howard Terminal project built. One thing I should add that we haven't discussed yet is there was a time when the A's were considering building along land right at the Oakland Coliseum, which in a lot of ways would be easier. It wouldn't necessarily be as pretty as the ballpark the Giants have on the water. And it might not have all the amenities and the surrounding stuff that Howard Terminal in its best form would, but it probably would be easier to get done. But the A's have decided they don't want to do that. Anyway, so there has been talk about Las Vegas. There has been talk over the years, nothing specific, but there has been talk about Sacramento, which is only 90 minutes from the Bay Area. It's certainly not as big a market, but has better summer weather, at least warmer summer weather. So those would be the two main cities, and a third one way on the outside would be Portland. But there really has not been, at least to my knowledge, a lot of Bay Area talk about the A's moving to Nashville.
Let's go with the Vegas thing for a minute. The fact that the Raiders are now there, does that make it easier or harder for the A's if that's the direction they want to go?
You said you're going to ask dumb questions. I think that's a very good question. I could give you probably 2 or 3 reasons why it makes it easier and 2 or 3 reasons why it makes it tougher. I think obviously it does make it easier in that, somebody's done it before, and not only are the Raiders there, but the Golden Knights. So you would think that the area has some experience now in dealing with major league franchises. The flip side of that, the harder part, I think, one is there's probably some enmity built in the Bay Area certainly in the East Bay towards Las Vegas. Plus, as Vegas has all kinds of dollars, as we all know, but if it's already spending on the Raiders and it's already spending on the Golden Knights, is there enough money for an 81 game season to go for the A's? And smarter people than that, or smarter people than I would be better to ask than I on that one. But it's a good question. I really don't know the answer.
Yeah, I guess I'm fishing around because I'm trying to figure out where all this is headed. And I've never thought the A's to Nashville, but has Major League Baseball got a little bit of a gentleman's agreement with Oakland that says, yeah, there may be a scenario where you may have to move, but it will be in the West because geographically with the divisions that we have, that's the way it has to be?
Well, I don't know about gentlemen's agreements, but I do know that Major League Baseball allowed the A's to explore Las Vegas. That was done sometime last year. So whether there's another city involved, that I couldn't tell you. But Major League Baseball has given the okay for the A's to explore Las Vegas.
Are you surprised that Tampa has not requested the same thing?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, again, I'm certainly not privy to all the specifics in the Tampa Bay market, but you would think at some point Tampa would, for want of a better term, leverage. Now, Tampa did have the plan to try to split its games between Montreal and Tampa, which I believe, I know got shot down, but that was at least one plausible scenario beyond the norm. But is there another scenario in which Major League Baseball would give Tampa the okay to go elsewhere? I would assume so, but I can't say that definitively right
I'm going to ask you one last thing, and then we'll run from there. Would I be right in saying that if there were something that were going to happen in my city where Major League Baseball were going to come here, that an owner better have more than $1 billion? Would that be close?
I'm not an economist. I don't play one on TV. That certainly sounds right. I'm between the cost of the franchise, whether it's a relocation fee, if it's a current team, or an expansion fee to the other 30 owners. That certainly sounds like it makes sense to me.
Steve, thank you so much for the visit. I'm sorry that it got delayed a few minutes, but on our end, it was well worth it.
Billy, I appreciate it. Look forward to the next time.
Thank you, Steve. Okay, Watson, give me a thought or two off what you heard.
I just don't think Nashville's in that one. That's my thought. I think it's got to come from a new team or Tampa. I just don't think they're going to bring a West Coast team in that division they're in to Nashville, Tennessee. That's my thought.
Totally agree on that. And really, I just wanted to hear him say, has anybody from Oakland ever said, hey, have you been to Nashville? It's not the toilet that our city's stadium looks like. By the way, put that picture back up, the second picture. This is a regular season game this year. Look at that. There are not 250 people in that place.
Wow. That's hard to believe.
Isn't it?
That's hard to believe.
Think about in the 70s, the A's won back-to-back world championships under Charlie Finley, and look at that. Yeah. That's embarrassing. I feel sorry
for Major League Baseball. For Major League Baseball, George, they need to get back. The A's need to get back. They got to fix this problem. There's no doubt.
So, Watson, I like the fact that the group that's out there right now, drumming up the support for Nashville, I think they have at least gotten the public's attention. That said, I pay no attention right now to all the blather that they're putting out there until they tell me who the owner is and what kind of pockets he's got. None of this means anything.
No, 100%. We don't have the big guy yet. And we've got some good guys, but we don't have the big guy. And the big guy is the one with all that hanging out of his pockets, George. And you're dead on. Till we see that person involved, I think it's still in the rearview mirror. But I do think I think we've got all the pieces in place if we get the money guy. I think everything else is there, but the money guy, and I hope the mayor will be positive about this too.
Okay, you want to put a little rumor in there?
Yeah, throw it. I need it.
Governor Haslam, before he eventually made the decision to get involved in the Predators, he was the big rumor that he was sniffing around on Major League Baseball. Now, I don't know him. We ought to try to get him on the show at some point. My gut feeling is that he did look around at Major League Baseball and said, it's going to be a while. So I've got a bird in the hand, or I've got the opportunity maybe at baseball. And I think he chose hockey, which was the one he knew he had in his hand.
Makes sense. He does have the cash to pull this off. I would truly believe that. And that tells you that tells me that it's not a good sign right now. It's going to be a while. If you think that really happened, I would say it's going to be a while.
Let me pose this question, because this is the part that scares me. Yeah, I want to see the Titans get a new stadium. I also want to see the city get better protection once they do agree to build this thing, that the Titans don't let it turn as sour as quickly as they let Nissan Stadium. They allowed that place to turn into a trash hole. But if we build that stadium, does that guarantee that Major League Baseball can't come here? Because where's the money coming from?
I thought that all along. I just hadn't really said it. How do you do both? It's a lot of money, George. And I just don't think the Titans are going to build something that isn't first class. I don't think they'll go there. And so they're going to need the help from the city to do it. So yes, if we build a first class place in football, I think it delays baseball, even though the money guy is going to have a lot to do with it, but the city has got to also be a big piece of it. And I just don't see it if that happens.
See, I think, first of all, I am shocked that Tampa has not already formally requested the ability to really look around. Now, Tampa's ticked off at MLB about this Montreal thing, which I always thought was nuts.
Yeah.
But the fact of it is, I'm shocked Tampa hasn't already gone ahead and done this and really get the pot stirred. And when they do, we're right there at the top of the list on the eastern coast.
When I go to, it's where my son lives, and when I go down to visit, and what I hear is the philosophy around is they're still trying to stay in Tampa. Now that's what's down there. We don't hear that. But when you get around the city and around Clearwater and St. Pete, where I guess the stadium is now, all you hear is they're trying to work this out. We believe this is going to get worked out and they'll stay here. So it's not the same attitude down there that it is on the outside.
We'll go to the break. We'll talk a little more baseball, throw in a few more rumors when we come back. This is the George Plaster Show on Main Street Media Television.
I've done sports, I've been a photographer, I've been an editor, I've been a producer, I've been a reporter, I've been an anchor. I mean, I've done every job you could possibly imagine this. And so sports was a way to have fun and be different. But then I realized community is where it's at, and community and local and doing places and going, seeing people. And, sports, you go to a stadium, everybody celebrates and they go their different ways. But community-wise, there's so much going on.
At WellSkin Dermatology and Aesthetics, we pride ourselves in providing access, innovation, and a patient experience second to none. Access to care and treatment when you need it. Innovation with medical-led cosmetics and various on-site technologies for full-service treatments with a customer experience that is calming, casual, and effective. Independently owned, providing medical, surgical, pediatric, and cosmetic dermatology and more. Visit WellSkinMD.com to schedule your appointment today. WellSkin Dermatology and Aesthetics. Access to healthy.
Hey everyone, I'm John English. This is Keith Wallace, and we would like to welcome you to John English Antique Sports and Cards in Shelbyville, Tennessee. We specialize in graded and ungraded sports and non-sports cards, vintage wax boxes, and unopened cases. We have a large selection of PSA graded cards. We also specialize in old sports collectibles, baseball, football, basketball, golf, and tennis. You can find it all at John English Antique Sports and Cards. We are happy to be associated with Nashville's greatest sports antique, George Plaster.
Have you heard about the high levels of radon in Middle Tennessee? Radon gas is the second leading cause of lung cancer, second only to smoking, and has no color, no taste, and no smell. The only way to know if you have radon is to test for it. Duret Radon Mitigation offers testing for small and large-scale residential and commercial properties, plus mitigation services. Visit DuretRadonMitigation.com to request testing or get a free estimate for mitigation. That's DuretRadonMitigation.com.
We are back. Thursday afternoon. Hope you're enjoying the show as we toss out a bunch of rumors that we cannot substantiate. We got into the discussion about Oakland. What you're seeing right now, Billy, are they
yet.
seeing?
Not yet,
They're not
George.
seeing it yet. Okay.
Here in a few minutes.
What they will see eventually is a picture of Camden Yards in Baltimore. Baltimore had always been one of the really storied franchises in all of baseball, but Watson, as you know, they have taken it on the chin big time over the last 5 years, haven't had a lick of pitching. It's really been hard to be an Orioles fan, right?
Oh, absolutely it has.
Have you noticed what's going on?
Wow.
They've won 10 in a row.
And look at the crowd.
Well, now, in fairness, who knows how long ago that was?
No, that's true.
That's what it's been looking like this year, though.
Well, compared to recent years, yeah.
Yeah.
What have they done, George? I don't really know. What have the Orioles done?
What they have tried to do, Watson, is a little bit of a tank like the Braves did. Their pitching over the last 3 or 4 years was god-awful. And what they have done with those high draft picks and some trades of veterans is they've been stockpiling, and they've been stockpiling good young pitching. Atlanta has done this twice in my life. Back when they made it in 91 to the World Series, they had stockpiled Tommy Glavine and John Smoltz and Steve Avery. All of a sudden, the Orioles in the last month, you've started to see this collection of really hard young throwers, guys that are way up in the 90s. Anyway, they've won 10 in a row. They have very quietly gotten themselves into the wild card picture, which I love for that city. But very quietly, I want to say about 6 weeks ago, it was after we left our radio life, that John Angelos had to put out basically put out a statement saying the Orioles are not coming to Nashville. And you're like, where the heck did that come from? The deal is John Angelos is Greek. Angelos' family is Greek. I know John a little bit. He has been to our church here in Nashville, Holy Trinity Greek Orthodox Church, and he has some business stuff going on here. And some people in Baltimore started to link the two together, and he finally shot it down and said, look, this is not what's going on. We're in Baltimore. We're at Camden Yards. Good for them, though, that they're winning.
Isn't it amazing in today's world, George, how it's so different? Yeah. Social media can take something and run with it. And the one thing that's the same that it was when we were younger growing up as today, if it's said or written, it's true. That's the way people are. I've never understood that. Somebody could write something and everybody said, well, it's true. And I'm sitting here, I could see things written about me or one of my teams that was absolutely not true. And yet it would take off like unbelievable. The world is still that way, but it's a whole lot easier to get it to take off today than it used to be.
What do you make of the Mets 2 out of 3 in Atlanta? Do you think this is – I do think, first of all, it slowed Atlanta's momentum a little bit, which the Mets desperately needed to have happen. How much significance do you put in that?
Not much at all other than slow the momentum. That's what I think it did. And it gave – what are they back up 2.5 again? Gave them just a little breathing room. They should hold on through the break and be in first place. But, George, there are so many games left. How many do they have even against each other left? But just division.
They have 16, I believe, is the number between
16
them.
More?
Is that right?
Is it 16 total, or they've got 16 more games?
I think they've got 16 more.
I mean,
they've got a big doubleheader up in New York right around August the 5th. We're sort of looking at it right now. Anyway, they got a bunch of games head-to-head, which makes your point even stronger that it probably doesn't mean much. My worry as a Braves fan is the whole deal of, okay, they've gotten Scherzer back, and he looked really good. He's looked good in
2 outings in a row.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Max Scherzer is a bulldog. You talk about a competitor.
Yeah.
Man, I wish he was on our side.
Well,
and the other is Jacob deGrom, who I thought was the best pitcher in baseball before he started getting hurt.
I agree. I mean, I've said that earlier in the week. What scares me about the Mets is they're not healthy. They get everybody back now, and of course the Braves aren't either. They've had some issues, but I just think that pitching, and the Mets are scoring runs and much more consistent this year than they did last year. I don't know if that's managing. I don't know what it is, but the consistency in scoring runs is where I see them different than a year ago. They'd go 2 or 3 in a row and couldn't do anything. That hadn't really happened to the Mets this year. They're always somewhere around 3, 4, 5. I mean, they're consistently scoring runs, George. And if they keep doing that in those 2 Bulldogs and the rest of their pitching, their relief pitching that I saw against the Braves is pretty good.
Yeah. Oh, they've got some hard throwers.
Yeah.
Billy.
George.
Yes. Kind of caught you there, didn't I?
I think I know what you're asking me, though.
Uh-huh. Sure you do.
The Mets and Braves
have
12 more meetings. I checked.
12 more. Yeah. Okay.
That's
do you not get a picture in this deal?
Well, I mean, we can do that if I don't know that people.
Don't you want some airtime?
Everybody wants to see you two.
I'm about to put you on the spot.
Okay.
I think this is some airtime you need.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Oh, that's beautiful. In your opinion, who is the most exciting player today in baseball?
Well, Fernando Tatis Jr., of course, last season I think holds it. But I mean, if you ask me right now, I don't know that there's a definitive answer right now. I mean,
sure there is.
Sandy Alcantara, the way he's pitching is super exciting, but he's on the Marlins.
Right.
But I mean, I don't know. George Acuna, I would want to say, but he's not playing as well as he can, of course, off the injury right now. I don't know that there's a definitive answer.
Oh, yes, there is.
Who's yours? Saying, George?
Ohtani.
Shohei Ohtani. Yeah.
He's doing it again.
He threw 101 miles per hour last night.
First of all, we've never seen a guy that has been able to come in, pitch, and hit.
It's incredible.
Oh, it is absolutely amazing what this guy's doing. He basically just shut down the Astros last night, beat them 7-1, drove in some runs. The guy's incredible. I mean, at the moment, if you said pick one player and there's only one player that you can look at, Ohtani.
Hands down. Hands down. I
You
don't know if
agree
we'll
with
ever see this again, guys. I don't know if we'll ever see this again. A guy that pitch like this, hit like that. I don't know if we'll ever see it again.
This is like the myth people used to talk about Babe Ruth. Oh, he pitched and hit in Major League Baseball, but this is coming true, and I feel like we're still not talking about him enough.
Well, for a while, the rumblings were that he couldn't stay healthy as a pitcher, that for 2 or 3 years he had injuries that curtailed. The Angels were scared to death. They had him on pitch counts. They had him on inning counts. Apparently, they have gotten that straightened out. What I saw last night of Ohtani, he is a stud.
It's crazy.
Period. Any other baseball notes? Anybody got anything they want to shoot out there?
George, I'm excited for this All-Star week next weekend. I feel like the Home Run Derby has lost a little bit of what it used to be, but we should see some pretty impressive bats. I don't know if Acuna is going to be able to participate, but if Ohtani does, watch out. That could be fun to watch.
The last time it was in Atlanta, I went to it. It was disappointing. Baseball's All-Star game was always better than any of the other sports, and they have botched it. The players don't care anymore.
Is that a player thing or is that a baseball?
It's a player thing. There used to be a pride of being a National Leaguer and kicking the American leagues. But by the way, when was the last time the National League won?
That's why you don't think it's any good. You just
that
keep
may
getting beat.
That may be part of it.
That's definitely
You're a
part
front runner, boy. You don't like it when you keep getting hit right between the eyes.
You're such a humanitarian.
Oh, Jez. How about Pujols hitting? Was it 685?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's going to be in the dirt. He's going to be in the dirt.
Watch. Didn't that excite you guys?
Oh,
this guy's been playing forever.
Watson, tomorrow, I think we're going to be able to pull it off. Paul DeYoung, who has been the Cardinals shortstop for the last 3 or 4 years and been a really good player, got sent back to the minors. I'm going to interview him tomorrow, and that's one of the things I want to talk about. Opening day in St. Louis this year, the ovation that Albert Pujols got was apparently incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Can't wait to hear more about it. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer. Yadier Molina is a first ballot Hall of Famer. And I think Adam Wainwright is now a Hall of Famer.
The first two, absolutely.
Yeah.
And Wainwright's, he's working.
He's getting really close.
George, I know we got to go to break here real quick, but we got a comment from Chris on Facebook here. He said, Walker Buehler has been the best pitcher in baseball for about 5 years until he got hurt this year.
I'm not buying
Would you agree with that?
No, absolutely not.
That's a bold statement from Chris.
No. Jacob DeGrom.
DeGrom.
Look, don't get me wrong. Walker Buehler's been really good and at certain times has been electric, but not Jacob DeGrom. No way. I know we got to go to the break. Stat of the day is coming up. God only knows where this is going. This is the George Plaster Show on Main Street Media Television. Tell me a little bit about your company.
So One Stop Realty has been around since 1974. We are your hometown brokerage. It is family owned by me. We have 30 agents that are waiting to help you with all your real estate needs. That counts as residential, commercial, and property management. We also will be getting into the auction business at the end of this month as well. We have listings that range from every price range that you can think of on the real estate market. I know Shelley Tucker has a new listing coming up in Gallatin. Heather Patton has one in Madison right around the corner here. I have one coming up myself. We have everything you need as far as real estate, and we have the expertise to help you out.
Beautiful. Give them a phone number.
Phone numbers for the office is 615-822-0750. You can find us on the web at www.onestoprealty.tn.com.
Thanks for getting involved with us.
George,
really
thank you for
appreciate
having
this. Yeah, it's going to be fun.
I think so.
At WellSkin Dermatology and Aesthetics, we pride ourselves in providing access, innovation, and a patient experience second to none. Access to care and treatment when you need it. Innovation with medical-led cosmetics and various on-site technologies for full-service treatments with a customer experience that is calming, casual, and effective. Independently owned, providing medical, surgical, pediatric, and cosmetic dermatology and more. Visit wellskinmd.com to schedule your appointment today. WellSkin Dermatology and Aesthetics. Access to healthier skin.
Yes, stat of the day is upon us. Watson, we have got to do better.
We're not doing bad. We're 2 out of 3.
No,
and we got
you
half of
are.
it yesterday.
I'm 0.5 out of 3.
Well, let's don't do this. It's a we thing.
Okay, let's go back to teamwork.
We're a team.
Yeah. Let's see how long that lasts. So neither one of us know what's coming.
No. Well, no.
So Billy gets to do his little read here.
The little read.
Mm-hmm.
Stat of the day is brought to you by John English Vintage Sports and Cards, specializing in antique and historical sports equipment, games, advertising, and other sport-related items. You can visit John English Sports and Cards in Shelbyville, Tennessee, open Tuesdays through Fridays from noon to 5 p.m. and Saturdays from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Visit JohnEnglishGradedCards.com. George, I'm thinking about going up there maybe this weekend. I've never been.
Go. It is incredible. I went back, I want to say late May, and really had no idea what to expect. I was blown away. Man, he has got some stuff. Any sports fan, if you're a sports fan and you get into that at all, you got to go down there. It is well worth it.
All right. Are we ready for the stat of the day?
Yeah, whatever.
Big stat of the day today. Who is the only NFL coach to win a Super Bowl with 3 different starting quarterbacks? And George, I have a hint ready, and it is accurate. So you can trust me on the hint that I might need to give y'all.
Well, okay, let's make sure we've got one piece of this correct. We're saying that this particular coach used 3 different quarterbacks in the same year and won the Super Bowl?
No, 3 different quarterbacks in 3 different years.
That's a different story. We know, Watson, that Bill Walsh won with both Montana and Steve Young.
Yeah, and Parcells won with at least 2, right?
Sims,
how many times did he win it? Hostetler, and then the kid from
Wait a minute.
Morehead.
Whoa. Hold on a second.
It may be Parcells.
I think you're onto something. Hold on. Let's think this through. Hostetler, Phil Sims, the first Super Bowl against the Giants, Hostetler the second one against Buffalo right after Desert Storm. And then Parcells, did he ever win another Super Bowl?
That's what I'm worried about. I don't know if he won but 2. He didn't win one at another team, right?
He got New England to the Super Bowl against Green Bay and then abruptly resigned. Got into it with
Green
Kraft.
Bay won it, right? Green Bay won it.
Yeah. He went to Dallas, didn't win. Ooh.
It's not Green Bay, right? It's not McCarthy. He had Favre and Rodgers, right?
Holmgren had Brett Favre, didn't he?
Did he have both of them before he left, Favre and Rodgers?
I don't think so. Let's think.
Roger Staubach, did it happen with the Cowboys?
Who's
Morton?
the only
Did Craig
NFL?
Morton ever win one?
Craig Morton, I think, did win.
I know Roger did.
Staubach won, but I don't think Dallas won a third one. Dadgum.
Y'all are going to be kicking yourself. Are you ready? Or you want to put a last-ditch effort?
Watson, are we surrendering?
Boy, I hate to do that.
Okay, hold on. Belichick.
No, I don't think. Brady won 6. My gosh.
Yeah.
Or 5. I'm thinking
are we surrendering?
Yes, we got to.
Here's the white flag from George and Watson.
This sucks.
Is it the Steelers?
No.
No.
Who?
Joe Gibbs. One with
Okay,
Joe
hold
Theismann.
on. Theismann, Mark Rippon, Doug Williams.
Yep.
Dadgummit.
We got all around it, George.
Y'all had just about every other option other than the one answer. That was a good effort.
It was good effort, but I mean.
Yeah, but we that one's gettable. That one was gettable.
I thought it would be attainable.
0.5 out of 4. God. Thank goodness.
Quit doing that. We're 2 for 4.
I know, but thank goodness for Plaster Bet of the Day, which is on fire.
Well, let's don't go there. This is stat of the day, though. Quit bragging on yourself before it's time to brag on yourself.
It bothers you when I have success.
Well, because you're the dangest front runner I've ever seen. I mean, you're awful.
Are you ready to talk some football?
Yeah.
Okay. We're now officially into the 5 o'clock hour. Do you read something to proclaim that?
George, I think I'm all done.
Do you read something to proclaim that?
That's on you. That's on you, George.
Okay. So we asked Watson, who is the foremost football expert.
Yeah, just asked me, right?
Football authority.
Yes, dead last.
Just ask me.
Underdog picks. We asked him to rate 1 through 7 the AFC, which has had dramatic change in the last few months, and it has become an incredibly strong conference. So we're going to do it from the back to the front. We're going to start with number 7 on the survey list. I feel like Casey Kasem without the money. But let's put number 7 up there and then get Watson to talk about it. The old Denver Broncos. All of a sudden, you get Russell Wilson in town and everybody's all over Denver. But you're barely on them.
I'm because of the league they're in, the division they're in. Golly bum. I mean, everybody in that division has gotten better. But Russell Wilson and that defense. So I've got them in the top 7, and I've got them as a wild card when it comes time for the playoffs. I've got them in. I think it'll take a little bit with Russell to settle in. And that division is just so good. They're going to have a tough time getting in that division, by the way, as a wild card. I'm telling you.
Okay, but let me ask this. Is there a scenario where, first of all, I think he's the best long ball thrower in football. Is there a scenario where everything clicks and Denver goes way past what we think?
Well, sure. I think there is for any of these. There's some really good teams in the AFC now. I mean, for us to do this, we're sitting here playing with fire because everybody has gotten better that I've got on my list. Every one of them. The Titans are the only one to me that just hasn't just jumped better. Some of these I think have really gotten better, and Denver's one of them because of quarterback.
Let's go to number 6.
Now, where are you all with that? You're way off on this. You got them higher, George?
No, no. Wait a minute. Are you asking? Have I got Denver higher?
Yeah, would you have Denver higher than what I got them?
Oh, I don't know. Probably not. But I don't rule out that all things could click. They've got a great home field there. If they get off to a good start, people better look out on Denver.
Yeah, I'm saying I'm not sure they will, but I think they're going to be there at the end. I think that by the end of the season, and that's when Russell Wilson's at his best in those critical games. So we'll see.
Now let's go to number 6. Okay.
Hometown team.
Yeah, maybe a little of that in this. I don't have the. I'll go ahead and say it. I don't have the Colts in this. And I think that I'm hoping the offensive line can be as good as we were 2 years ago. I don't know that that's going to be the case. George, I'm not sure this wasn't put together before A.J. Brown left. I'm not sure when we did this, but I'll leave them there. I think Ryan Tannehill is coming back strong. I think he's going to have a good year. I think I'm a little bit like what we talked yesterday, that they're going to run first more, get back to 2 tight end type stuff, throw a lot more of the one-on-one stuff on rundowns, which is when Ryan Tannehill was at his best. not being all the spread sets like we were last year. And I think that was caused, guys, because when we lost our tailback, that hurt. We played pretty good at tailback after that, but it's not the same. There's only one king, Derrick Henry. And when we lost him, I think we went more to a thought of balance this up, throw as much as we run. I just don't think that's Ryan Tannehill. I don't think that's our offensive line. I think we're a run-first line. That's what they signed. They knew that when they brought these kids here, and their pass protection guys second. But I think the defense has not even been talked about enough. It was really good. The defensive line was outstanding last year. They're all back. They should be healthier. We've had some knee injuries up there. We had some different injuries that they were kind of growing through and got better as the year went on. I got Tennessee 6th, and I do think they'll win the division.
Let's go to number 5. The LA Chargers. This, to me, is one of these total wild cards because of Justin Herbert. The guy is a terrific talent, and it just feels like one of these days they're going to get the whole package right. And when they do, everybody better look out.
Well, they've got a running game now, a very good one. And he is one of the best in the league. I put him right up there in the top 5. And I just think that alone. And then when they put Khalil Mack with this bunch, with that kind of playmaker, pass rusher that's now with the Chargers that they signed in the offseason, I put the Chargers number 5, but I do not have them winning the division. I think they'll be a wild card. I think Denver and LA will be the wild card unless the Raiders knock them out. One of those three will be two of those three will be, in my opinion, the 2 wild card teams. But I guess that's telling you early who I think is going to win the division.
If Khalil Mack is anything close to as dominant as he was at the beginning of his Chicago days, look out.
Yeah, and I think he's pumped, and I think he's going to be a better player on the West Coast. I think he's going to be a big difference if he stays healthy.
You think he's still got that in him?
Yep, I do. I do. I saw signs of it last year. For some reason, everybody goes to the Bears. It just don't seem to work out. And I think he's pumped. I think he's going to have a heck of a year. Let's see.
Let's go to number 4. The Raiders.
The Raiders.
They were within an eyelash on the opening weekend of the playoffs of going to Cincinnati and putting the Bengals out of their misery early.
My first plus for them to put them where they are is in number 4 is I really think Josh McDaniels is going to be a good head coach. It's his second go around. I think he learned a lot from the first one, and he walked into a really good team, guys. And you add Devontae Adams, Chandler Jones, that's 2 superstars to a team that was on the verge last year of being right there. I thought they were very dangerous late in the year. And so I've got the Raiders 4. What do you guys think about that?
Oh, I think, listen, they're one that you remember the final regular season game against San Diego? Remember all the controversy where it came down to, if they kick a field goal, Pittsburgh doesn't get in. And you remember all that?
Absolutely. No, they're playing good down the stretch now.
That's what
they were playing good football.
Yeah. So let me ask this. Derek Carr, I think, gets a bad rap. I think Derek Carr's pretty doggone good. And I'm like y'all. McDaniel might really elevate him to a new level.
And he played to a new level at the end of the year. He was playing really good football the last third of the season maybe and into the playoffs. The guy, I think he is one of the better ones also. There's a bunch of them in this league. One of the better quarterbacks, and now you add Devontae Adams where you've got a true go-to guy. I think the Raiders are 4, and yet I still don't have them winning the division. How about that?
After all they went through last season, that entire franchise, for them to squeeze into the playoffs and and escape that, and now they're looking better this season. It's incredible.
Might be a lot of fun in Vegas.
Oh,
hopefully not too much fun.
Let's go to number 3. Okay, so the Bengals you have at number 3. There's no doubt they had to improve their offensive line. Joe Burrow took a horrific beating and kept coming back for more. So, Watson, to me, they're anywhere from 1 to 4, maybe.
Yep, I've got them 3. I think the confidence of what happened last year and going as far as they did, they really improved the offensive line now. You study what they've done, I think they really took care of that. And when you got Burrow and Chase, you've got that combination. They're going to be hard to beat, and they're not in what I think of as a killer division right now. I think the division's fallen off a little bit. I think Pittsburgh's fallen off. I'm not sure about the Ravens. So it may not be as hard on them to win this division and can be pumped by playoff time again, George. So that's why they may not have the best team, but I think with all those little pieces around, that's why I've got them 3. I think they will win the division.
Okay, I think we all think we know who the last 2 are. The question is, which one does he have number 1, and which one does he have number 2?
Thought you were about to go to the break there, George.
No. You've got the Chiefs at 2. Is that the trade of the wide receiver?
I think they're maybe better at wide receiver. They're going to be really good there, and I think they want to prove that after Hill has kind of made his statements, and I think this will pick them up. But getting Sky Moore, Smith-Schuster, you've still got the great tight end. Their running backs will come back healthy. They had real running back problems last year, really the last 2. And I just everybody's kind of forgetting about them. But Patrick Mahomes is Patrick Mahomes. And I still have the Chiefs winning a very tough division. And I got them 2. And I think they'll play the Bills for the championship, the AFC championship.
Okay, so let's do the ceremonial. Put Buffalo there, number 1. For the Bills to get past Kansas City, isn't there maybe a little bit of a belief issue? We keep playing these people, and we never win when it matters. Isn't it time they get that game in Buffalo?
I think it will be. I think Kansas City's record will not be strong enough to be the 1 seed. It'll be Buffalo. I think they've improved their offensive line quite a bit. And Josh Allen is bona fide. He's right there with Mahomes to me. Boy, look at the quarterbacks on these teams. The only one that's not on an upswing right now is Tennessee. And Ryan caught a lot of stuff from the end of last year, but the year before and through the season, he played really good early in the year this year. But the year before, he played fantastic. And we were ranking him all the way up into the top 10. And the Bills have added Von Miller now. That's a pretty big addition to that defense that's already pretty good. I think this is the Bills' year.
Can we go back to that list for just a second?
Mm-hmm.
Take a look at one thing that stands out in all of those. You better score some points.
Yep.
Denver's going to score. The Chargers are going to score. We know the first 4. You're not going to win any 10-6s in this AFC.
Well, look at the offenses of that 7, and we're the one that's completely different, meaning the Titans.
Yeah.
We're a heavy run first, throw off of the run, eat the clock, play defense, keep the score low. The rest of these go after it offensively with good defenses, but they're going after you. And so will that win out? Is that style what gives us the best shot? Is we're the only one in that style of offense or that style of team that we want to be tough, knock you down, keep the ball, get the big plays off the pass as the running game's going well. That's what I think gives us hope, guys, as the Titans. But I'm not sure. There's some really talented football teams in the AFC. I don't even have the Colts in that.
Right.
And
you don't have Indy or Baltimore.
I don't have Baltimore. I'm still not sold on Baltimore yet. I don't know what it is, but I'm not sold on Baltimore. And that doesn't have the Browns in there, that if Deshaun Watson were to get clear, don't think he will, but if he did, and he only missed 2 games or something, we forgot about him now. He didn't play last year. He makes a bunch of plays. I thought he made plays with the Texans when he had no help whatsoever. So I'm leaving the Colts and the Browns out of that. And the Colts may very well win our division. I think Matty Ice is a huge get for the Colts.
This is one tough deal.
Whew.
Oh, yeah.
I'm telling you now, 9 football teams like that in the FC.
AFC is stacked, period. So let me tell you a little bit about where we're going to go from here. First of all, we'll turn on the text line for some questions. What does that mean, Billy?
That means it's Ask the Director time. Is that where we're is that just something you brought up yesterday?
Yeah. I mean, I was kind of a smart aleck yesterday.
Nah, you're never
You've gotten better today.
I was cynical, a little bit of a smart aleck, but today I'm upbeat and pleasant. So here is what we're going to do. We'll do a few questions. We'll go to our second break of the hour a little bit early, and then we will have the Plaster bet of the day. And let me say this. I'm on fire. I've won 2 in a row.
2 straight.
Whatever. It's bad when 2 in a row causes this much celebration. But I think we've got a third that's going to win tonight. Let's go to the break. If you've got questions, text them. How do they do that?
You got questions wherever you're watching. There should be a comment section. Just type it in and we'll see it. We'll get it over to George and Watson.
Beautiful. This is the George Plaster Show on Main Street Media Television.
Hey everyone, I'm John English. This is Keith Wallace, and we would like to welcome you to John English Antique Sports and Cards in Shelbyville, Tennessee. We specialize in graded and ungraded sports and non-sports cards, vintage wax boxes, and unopened cases. We have a large selection of PSA graded cards. We also specialize in old sports collectibles, baseball, football, basketball, golf, and tennis. You can find it all at John English Antique Sports and Cards. We are happy to be associated with Nashville's greatest sports antique, George Plaster.
This is attorney Bart Durham, and this is me. I'm Aaliyah. Keeping in good physical condition is really important to me. But when I had a wreck with a tractor trailer truck that hurt my legs so bad I couldn't work for almost a year, I knew I needed a lawyer that understood tractor trailer cases. So I called Bart. Bart gets millions of dollars for his clients every year.
At Bart Durham Injury Law, we've handled hundreds of tractor trailer cases.
My dad and I want to help. Give us a call at 615-242-9000.
Jody Jones Dentistry can handle all your dental needs, from the basics to cosmetic procedures. All of this in the nicest dental facility I have ever seen. Jody has done it right. They're located conveniently at 55 Music Square East, and for an appointment, it's simple. Dial 615-259-5100 and tell them Plaz sent you.
At WellSkin Dermatology and Aesthetics, we pride ourselves in providing access, innovation, and a patient experience second to none. Access to care and treatment when you need it. Innovation with medical-led cosmetics and various on-site technologies for full-service treatments with a customer experience that is calming, casual, and effective. Independently owned, providing medical, surgical, pediatric, and cosmetic dermatology and more. Visit wellskinmd.com to schedule your appointment today. WellSkin Dermatology and Aesthetics. Access to
At Sumner Funeral and Cremation, our mission is to serve families as our own, celebrate the life of their loved one, and help begin the healing process.
My whole family, including my wife and my mom and siblings, were very happy with the treatment that we received. I would highly recommend Sumner Funeral and Cremation.
We offer funeral, burial, cremations, and pre-planning services.
Sumner Funeral and Cremation. Traditional, affordable, dignified. SumnerFuneral.com.
I think journalism is like politics. It's all local, and I think Main Street Media has really hit on something that I've been preaching for 50 years. And keep the news local, right? Local stories for local readers, and that's what I like about Main Street Media. I finally found somebody who agrees with me philosophically about concentrate on local subjects, local topics, and you'll bring your readers in.
We are back. We're going to cut things off a tad bit early today, and I'll just be upfront with what's going on. I am going to attend a ceremony in Lebanon, Tennessee. Our buddy and colleague Mark McGee being inducted tonight into the Tennessee Sports Writers Hall of Fame. We congratulate Mark as well as the others who will go in this evening, but I am very pumped for my buddy to see that happen. So I'm going to bolt a few minutes early. This is not going to be something that we get into the habit of. However, tonight we're doing it.
George, give him a hug for me too.
I'll do it. He covered you, didn't he?
Well deserved. He covered me. Yes.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
He was a pup and covered me at Vanderbilt.
I covered Watson.
And you were a pup and covered me at Vanderbilt.
Ooh, I was
a young George.
I was young and thin.
I'll let you say that. I'm not going there, George. I'm going to be nice about that.
Yeah. Okay. We have questions. Apparently, Watson, you ready?
Let's go.
All right, George. Let's start with Chris on Facebook. He's been very active the past few days.
We appreciate that. By the way, we're going to get our phone situation straightened out. Give us a few days, but soon enough, we'll be looking for what did we used to call it? We need some red-blooded Americans.
Oh, yeah.
Few good red-blooded Americans.
Yeah,
that's what you'd always say it.
But I always wondered, what if somebody called and said, well, I'm Canadian. Do I qualify? Yeah, you do. So what do you got?
Chris says, let's discuss the Panthers. What are they doing? You trade for a guy and then cut him 3 days later. It doesn't make a lick of sense. Do we know who he's talking about?
Well, first of all, let's get to Baker Mayfield. I kind of like the move. I think the guy will play with a chip on his shoulder. And Watson, I'm convinced he's going to have a good year there. And he is going to beat Sam Darnold out. Because if he doesn't beat Sam Darnold out, what's left of his career?
No, and I think he will. I didn't feel that Sam Darnold was the answer myself for the Panthers. I really didn't. That's just me. I do think Baker will walk in the door, may not ever say it, but I think he's going to accept some of the issues he may have had when he was in Cleveland and become a better team guy, and like you're saying, leave some of the outside stuff alone and try to really be a good quarterback and prove to everybody he is that. I also think it's his time to stay healthy a little bit. He's really struggled with injuries, and I think he's going to do well there. So I think they finally fixed quarterback since they hadn't had one really in my mind since Cam Newton.
Man, that Super Bowl feels like a long time ago, doesn't it?
It was a long time ago.
Yeah.
Yep.
Carolina, it's an interesting fan base, very similar to the Titans in that they started out like a house of fire. A lot of sellout crowds, not so much so as this has gone along. And they need a good start. And frankly, Matt Rule needs a good start. And Watson, if he doesn't get it, he will be a hot commodity on the college level, because if they were to get off to a bad start and he gets shown the door before the college looking season begins, he's going to be at the top of some lists.
Yeah, and I'm not sure that he could hang around and get a second shot quick in the NFL. So I think he would go back to college. He did well at Temple. He did well at Baylor. And I do think you're right. I think he'd be jumped on quickly back in the college game. But I kind of think he's the number one hot seat guy right now. Would you say that? Would you all say that? I think he's the number one guy.
I'd say it's very close. And I'll say the job he did at Temple is one of the all-time great jobs. It's one of the all-time great performances that a coach has ever had. Temple is one tough job with very little fan base. They play in the 70,000 seat stadium the Eagles do, and they have nobody there.
It's a very tough job. Not very many people have done a good job there. And yes, he did a good job. Very good job there.
We have question number 2.
Question number 2, George. This was the long form one yesterday that you guys avoided yesterday. We got to get to it. It's from Terry Jennings on Facebook. Vandy's football fan base has been deteriorated in recent years. Other than winning games, what do they have to do as a program to get back on track?
Okay. Let's start with some obvious stuff here. The first thing they have to do is make stadium improvements that matter. There's not a lot of comfort to sitting in that place. When you get 40,000 in there, it is a very uncomfortable setting. Watson, I went to the U2 concert several years ago, and I don't sit in the stands all that often. It was really uncomfortable. And in this day and time where people have the ability to stay at home, watch on their big screen, pour their own soda pop and maybe something stronger and not have to pay out the what to do it, stadium amenities have become huge.
Well, George, the whole facility piece, they're starting to fix McGugin, and it's improving. And but you compare facility at Vanderbilt to anybody in the SEC, anybody. I don't care what program you go to compare. It's daylight and dark, man. They keep talking about it. They've got to fix it. I don't think you get the fan base back till the fan base feels commitment through the whole university to football, commitment to football. And the way you show commitment first is through facility. Facility shows fans commitment. Facility shows athletes commitment. And then maybe more of these high-ranked guys are going to want to come to Vanderbilt, or will get in the mix with Vanderbilt in Kentucky, or Vanderbilt in Tennessee, or Vanderbilt in Florida, whatever. That, yes, winning will get better athletes in there as you go. Yes, it will. But it's hard to win till you fix things around you. You can't just put it on a coach to do that. You've got to have all the pieces in place. Kentucky is a prime example. They've been through coaches. They got a good one, but they helped him immediately. And that facility now can match anybody's. So an athlete can go to Lexington, see that place, go to Gainesville, see that place, and he doesn't throw Kentucky out the door immediately when he sees it. So you got to fix facility, and I mean quickly. They've got to go, George. They can't just keep going. Coach Clark's in his second year, and it can get you. It can get you now quick. He needs to be able to recruit really well early. That's what I was not able to do. And the recruiting when I was there really picked up in year 4 and 5, but the first couple of years it was tough. And they got to help him now. Don't let him get late in his time, because then he's tarnished. The luster's off a little bit, and everybody starts saying, well, he needs to win this year. When you start hearing that, it gets tough. And I just want them to help him now. Give him all they can do right now to help get better football players in there. You don't win in the SEC without players as good as who you're playing. Vanderbilt players right now, even with this year, they're not as good as who they're playing in the SEC. They may win their non-conference games, but they're not as good as who they're playing in the SEC.
Terry is the one who asked the question. Terry, as you know, this is an area where I've caught a lot of crap over about a 30-year period because I was the one yelling and screaming about it way, way back. You had some athletic directors who really didn't get it. David Williams absolutely did not get this, didn't understand how important the marketing part of it was. I will say this. I think in the area of some quick fixes, I would do anything I could to somehow get the neighborhood to rally around some post-game fireworks shows at night. That's kind of dumb, but people love fireworks. There's just not that much fun when you're getting your brains beat out. And secondly, when you're playing an SEC school and you're outnumbered 90-10, there's not a lot of fun to it. And that's one of the things that's got to happen is they have got to bring back some level of fun to Vandy football while Clark Lee tries to clean up the mess that Derek Mason left. We could go on this one for a while, but that's a little bit of it.
Yep.
George, we've got a question coming in here from Scott on Facebook. Yes, this is my brother. He says, when do y'all think Clark
Well, no, whoa. Hold on a second. Did you pay your brother to do this?
I did not. I didn't tell him to ask a question. I promise.
You really didn't?
I promise.
So he's just a faithful listener.
Yes, he is, George.
What's his name?
His name is Scott.
Scott, if you're out there, what is wrong with your brother? Oh, go ahead.
George, this is right in line of what y'all were talking about with Vanderbilt football. He asks, when do y'all think Clark should take Vandy to a bowl game? I'm thinking year 4 because the 2022 recruiting class will be juniors.
This is way ahead of this is the what are the cart before the horse?
Yeah, but I think to look at this close, go look and see what the non-conference schedule is, those 4 games. And if it's not too bad, it could be quicker than you think. You win those 4 games and you go 2-6 or whatever, it would 2 and what? That's be 2-6. Yes. You go 2-6 in the SEC, you're in a bowl. So it's doable. I think it totally depends on him. Keep recruiting like he's doing. I think he's recruiting about as good as he can with what he's got right now. And what is the non-conference schedule? Because he's not going to jump up to 4-4 in the SEC just real quick like. So win the 4 non-conference games, and you're 6-6 and you're in a bowl.
Can I tell a great story?
Sure.
So the first time my show ever met James Franklin, ironically, he was brought over to a remote that we were doing over at Belmont. And we're in the atrium, we're set up, and James comes on. And during the first break, he's been on for about 10 minutes. Willie turns to him, pulls out a media guide, and says, "Are you aware that you're playing Clemson in your second year down there?" And Franklin takes a look at that thing. I mean, he grabs that thing and looks at it like, "Are you kidding me?" Well, this just in. Very quickly, he got that switched.
Smart move.
Well, Watson's on to something.
Yeah, what's Watson?
In that that's your recipe is win the non-conference games. And Watson, in that group, out of the 4, do you want one to be legit?
Close to legit, maybe. Vanderbilt right now needs to go the Kansas State route. Get those non-conference wins. That's what Coach did there forever. And when he started it they're losing every game when he went there. You win the 4 non-conference games. You beat 2 teams in the SEC that you probably shouldn't have beat, which is doable. You're in a bowl every year. If I'm the AD there today, I don't worry about money. My gracious, you're bringing in enough money through the SEC in itself. I go get 4 wins on that schedule. That's what I do. And I might have all 4 of them at home, by the way. It might be 4 at home. A lot of these big schools, Alabama's of the world, that's what they do. They don't go play on the road, maybe one time or something. But if I'm Vanderbilt, that's my recipe to get myself back.
Watson, take a look on the screen. Brian Stewart apparently brought reinforcements today. I guess he decided that if I became at all a smart aleck, that he would have those others, basically jump through the screen and with me.
I think he's a smart man.
Brian, how you doing?
Hey, we're doing great over here, George. Watson, how are you, sir?
I'm good, Brian. Thanks for being with us, man.
No worries. George, I just wanted to bring some of my agents in here. This is 3 of my newer agents. We got Crystal Locke here in the pink red shirt. We've got Amy Harrison in the green in the middle, and Mr. David Wampler right behind me.
How many of them are Braves fans?
Oh, hey, there we go.
Oh, nice.
The tribe is here. Oh, there we go, David. Yeah.
Is that part of the requirement to work there?
Well, it's that, and you have to be a Titans fan. So, unfortunately, this young man behind me is a huge Colts fan.
Oh no!
But
get him out of here.
It can't be any worse than Terry McCormick being a Yankees fan, right? So there you go.
Well said. Well said. So talk to me a little bit about what they've brought to the table for you.
Well, first off, all my agents here at One Stop we're all like family here. And that's the environment that we keep here. Everybody helps each other out. Everybody works together. There's not that, sense of, oh, I have to do this or I have to sell this amount or whatever. Basically, everybody has families, and that's what the main goal is here is we're all helping each other provide and put food on the table for our family. We treat our clients the same way whenever they need something, whether it's commercial, residential, property management, or auction. We're here for all of it. We have the expertise to help. We've been around since 74. Some of my new agents here, they haven't been around since 74. Heck, I wasn't even born till 78. But that being said, we do have a lot of.
Boy, I was.
George, you don't look a day over 79, right? So
Thank you. So
but yeah, we're just happy to be a part of this show. We're happy that with the Main Street Media, with George Plaster show, and everybody that's involved. This is a hometown venture, and we're a hometown company, and that's what we're here for.
Amen. Tell people how they can reach you.
615-822-0750 is the office. 615-440-7011 is my cell phone number. And you can see us online at www.onestoprealtytn.com or on Facebook at One Stop Realty TN and on Instagram.
That's Brian Stewart. He's a Braves fan. He's a good man. Talk to you.
Thank you, George. Thank you, Watson.
See y'all. You all behave. See you tomorrow. Okay, we got time for a couple more before we.
Well, George, I'm out.
You're out?
Yeah, I think you got some.
Okay. Here's one that I thought was a really good question, and I'm going to bring it up tomorrow when hopefully we have Paul DeYoung on with us. Lance in Smyrna says, should MLB institute a 20-second pitch clock? Well, let me say this. On the minor league level, at times it's a 14-second pitch clock. And Watson, they are reporting some pretty significant decreases in time of game. So the answer to me is not yes, it is heck yes.
100% so. Any way that you can speed the game up a little bit. We're dealing with that in football. It's starting to get better. We need to be dealing with it in baseball too, George. 100% agree with you. And let me throw something back. Do you like this extra inning rule with the runner on second base? Do you like that?
No, but let me say this. Having broadcast baseball, broadcasters love it, because I'm telling you, when you get into a 4.5 hour game or something where you're sitting there at 1 a.m. and you don't know when it's going to end, yeah, you want it. I'm not wild about it, because to me, it's the flip of a coin and very little else. But I think
why do you say that? I don't. Both teams get the same opportunity. Why is that a flip of the coin?
Well, because from second base, you're one hit away. The Reds and the Yankees have had a weird series where Cincinnati's done surprisingly well at Yankee Stadium. I think they've split the first two.
I think you're right, George.
Yeah. Once you get to extra innings, the better team, to me, seldom wins. It's a crapshoot. It's like, to me, it feels like the shootout in hockey a little bit.
Well, can't you say that about football the same way? I mean, I don't know that it's as, I think baseball's fairer than football, NFL, with their overtime.
Well, where they both get a shot at it.
Yeah, I think baseball's very fair to me because they both get the same shot. I think I like it. It can end the game. I think it's awful when you have these 21 inning games and somebody loses. You've played 21 innings, you've been out there 6 hours and you lost. I just don't like that. So I like the route. I enjoyed watching the Red Sox and the Yankees the other night when that happened. And both of them, I think the Yankees scored 2 first, and the Red Sox came back and scored 2 and tied it up. I think it's very fair deal.
The Red Sox and the Yankees have become the single biggest abusers of pace of play. But I got to say this, the Sunday night game a few weeks ago, Braves-Dodgers, got totally out of hand as well. It was a 4-hour
marathon.
Oh my God, it was ridiculous.
But George, doesn't this benefit the road team with the momentum? You know, you're the first team to get that runner at second, or am I going too far there?
I don't know. I mean, I'd be curious to see the stats of what has the road in this new extra inning model. What has the road team done? What's their percentage?
See, Billy, if you look at football, they do it exactly the opposite. You get into overtime and you win a flip of the coin, they always want to go second. They don't want to go first. So I don't know that I feel that way.
We sort of answered the other one. John in Lawrenceburg said, will the Titans get a new stadium? I think emphatically yes. What does that mean for MLB? My opinion, not good.
Especially if it's a whole lot of money, and it looks like it's going to be.
Yeah, in that $2.2 billion, you hear the breakdown something like this: $500 million from the state if it's a dome. Amy Adams Strunk apparently has pledged $700 million. I would look for $200 to $250 million out of the NFL, because they have been propping up new stadiums. By the way, if I'm Nashville, I am putting Goodell, I am backing his butt into a corner and saying, look, we're not building this thing until you pledge a Super Bowl to the city. Did it for Minneapolis. Why not Nashville? Better weather.
Why wouldn't they do that?
I think they would. I think it's up to the city to back his butt into the corner.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that it matters if it's domed or not, or can be enclosed and opened, or do you think that matters?
Well, I think now, the state, I think it would certainly help, but the state has put the stipulation that their $500 million has to be for a dome. Governor Lee spoke to my downtown Kiwanis Club about 3 weeks ago, and what he said was, it becomes a tourism thing for the state. And in a dome, you can bring Final Four, you could bring Super Bowl, you can bring more events if it's got a roof.
I would just worry about them giving us a Super Bowl as far north as we are. I think that the dome would help that.
They gave one to New York City.
Yeah, and I'm not sure they'll do it again.
I think you're right.
You look at February Nashville weather.
Ooh.
It's not the best.
Hey,
it is 50-50.
That thing behind you.
Stadium Series?
Yeah. Show that for a second.
Here we go.
Okay. I sat in the upper deck. It was a great moment, but those of us up there froze our fannies off.
There it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Courtesy of me. Okay. We'll go to our final break of the hour, and then we'll come back with the Plaster bet of the day. I am on fire, and I'm willing to let you know it. Stay tuned.
I highly recommend Sumner Funeral and Cremation because of their caring nature and attentiveness to detail.
Pre-planning your funeral now will bring you peace of mind and less stress to your loved ones. When the chaos of losing you happens, your family can honor and celebrate your life, knowing things are happening just as you wanted them to. Pre-planning determines the details of your funeral, cemetery services, and can be less expensive. We are honored to serve you and are always here for you in your time of need.
Sumner Funeral and Cremation. Traditional, affordable, dignified. SumnerFuneral.com.
Jody Jones Dentistry can handle all your dental needs, from the basics to cosmetic procedures. All of this in the nicest dental facility I have ever seen. Jody has done it right. They're located conveniently at 55 Music Square East, and for an appointment, it's simple. Dial 615-259-5100 and tell them Plaz sent you.
Have you heard about the high levels of radon in Middle Tennessee? Radon gas is the second leading cause of lung cancer, second only to smoking, and has no color, no taste, and no smell. The only way to know if you have radon is to test for it. Duret Radon Mitigation offers testing for small and large-scale residential and commercial properties, plus mitigation services. Visit DuretRadonMitigation.com to request testing or get a free estimate for mitigation. That's DuretRadonMitigation.com.
Hey everyone, I'm John English. This is Keith Wallace, and we would like to welcome you to John English Antique Sports and Cards in Shelbyville, Tennessee. We specialize in graded and ungraded sports and non-sports cards, vintage wax boxes, and unopened cases. We have a large selection of PSA graded cards. We also specialize in old sports collectibles, baseball, football, basketball, golf, and tennis. You can find it all at John English Antique Sports and Cards. We are happy to be associated with Nashville's greatest sports antique, George Plaster.
At WellSkin Dermatology and Aesthetics, we pride ourselves in providing access, innovation, and a patient experience second to none. Access to care and treatment when you need it. Innovation with medical-led cosmetics and various on-site technologies for full-service treatments with a customer experience that is calming, casual, and effective. Independently owned, providing medical, surgical, pediatric, and cosmetic dermatology and more. Visit WellSkinMD.com to schedule your appointment today. WellSkin Dermatology and Aesthetics. Access to healthier skin.
Well, a little bit of late breaking news involving the agent for former Atlanta Braves first baseman Freddie Freeman. What's the story?
So, George, Doug Gottlieb had a tweet. He put it out on June 29th about Freddie Freeman. And he basically said that Casey Close, Freeman's manager, never told Freddie about the Braves' final offer, which the lawsuit describes as false and reckless, thereby injuring plaintiffs' names, businesses, and reputation. And now Casey Close, Freddie's manager, has decided to sue Doug Gottlieb over that tweet. It's getting frosty.
Wow.
This is crazy.
That is crazy.
All in the middle of a season.
So, Watson, as you know, last night I had Tampa Bay, and they won.
A gift. That was a gift.
What do you mean exactly?
I mean, it's a gimme game.
Really?
You just get to pick any game in baseball you want, and all they got to do is just win the game.
Oh, so now it's just everything's easy.
Yeah, I mean,
I
you
win
got
a
it
couple
made
of
right now.
these.
We get back into football, and it's
Well, that's
different.
a different, yeah.
That's a different world.
Well, but let me tell you, it's not that easy.
Okay.
Let's go where I'm going tonight.
George,
because
let's go here first. Your bet of the day results.
Oh, don't do that, Billy. Don't start bragging on him.
We're giving him some confidence because we know it's
He
probably
don't
won't
need
last.
confidence. That is not something the man needs.
He's 2-1. He's hot. He's hot, Watson.
You win 67%, you can win some money.
But it's early.
Well, it's really early. So, okay, so we're 2-1, and I'm taking what appears to be an easy one. The Yankees tonight. We're going at home minus 190, and that's the key thing. Some of you who don't bet may be saying, what do you mean by that, minus 190? Well, it means if you try to win 100 on the Yankees and they don't win, you lose 190. On the other hand, if you decide to get gutsy about it and take Cincinnati and they win, you win 180. They lose, you lose 100. Luis Castillo, very good pitcher for the Reds. That's the only concern I've got. The Reds have played the Yankees really tough 2 nights in a row. I do not believe it happens a third time. Watson, I believe, will be popping champagne tonight by about 9 o'clock.
Terry just rolled over in his chair. You took the Yankees.
You know, I can
took
win.
The Yankees.
I can win
Holy
either
cow.
way this works out. If they lose, that'd be good too. It's a no-lose deal.
Oh, that's a bad thought.
Yeah. Hey, out of here a few minutes short so I can get to Lebanon and congratulate my buddy Mark McGee, Tennessee Sports Writer Hall of Fame. He gets inducted in about 30 minutes. We will see you tomorrow with a good show. Paul DeYoung, former St. Louis Cardinals shortstop, now playing for the Memphis Redbirds, and we'll talk with the new head football coach at FIU, Mike McIntyre. See you then.